Good morning. It's good to be with you on this Thursday morning as we continue together in our daily reflections. Hope your week is going well. We are going to read today Third John. I was looking at the schedule. We're going to do Third John today. Tomorrow I think we're gonna break up Jude. Jude could be done in one setting, but I think I'm gonna break up Jude into a couple of sections. So we'll do Jude tomorrow, and then we'll do part of Jude tomorrow. Then we'll go into Jude into next week, and then I don't know. I don't know. I may do some Psalms. You know, I love the Psalms. We'll see. But we'll go to the Old Testament for a little bit. Larger house. Well, I would say larger housekeeping notes. We'll be trucking along for most of May, but I may take some time off in June in the midst of transitions. But we will definitely be in place through May. Let's read uh, Third John together now. The elder to the beloved Gaius, whom I love in truth. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul. I was overjoyed when some friends arrived and testified to your faithfulness to the truth, namely how you walk in truth. I have no greater joy than this, to hear that my children are walking in the truth. Beloved, you do faithfully whatever you do for the friends, even though they are strangers to you. They have testified to your love before the church. You will do well to send them on in a manner worthy of God. For they began their journey for the sake of Christ, accepting no support from non-believers. Therefore, we ought to support such people, so that we may become co-workers with the truth. I have written something to the church, but Diotrephes, who likes to put himself first, does not acknowledge our authority. So if I come, I will call attention to what he's doing and spreading false charges against us. And not content with these charges, he refuses to welcome the friends, and even prevents those who want to do so and expels them from the church. Beloved, do not imitate what is evil, but imitate what is good. Whoever does good is from God. Whoever does evil has not seen God. Everyone has testified favorably to Demetrius, and so has the truth itself. We also testify for him, and you know that our testimony is true. I have much to write to you, but I'd rather not write in ink and pen and ink. Instead, I hope to see you soon. We talk together face to face. Peace to you. The friends send you their greetings. Greet the friends there, each by name. It's interesting um, that it has the same type of style of ending as Second John. Both times it says, I have much to write to you, but I'd rather not use pen and ink. Instead, hope to come talk to you face to face. Third John, I have much to write you, but I'd rather not write with pen and ink, but instead I hope to see you. We will talk face to face. So we see in this letter to John, he's writing to someone named Gaius. Gaius was a very common name in that time. There are various Gaiuses that are mentioned by Paul, and I think in Acts as well. It's possible that the same person, but not likely, just because it'd be like writing a letter to Steve. You know, it's a very common name in that culture, and but he's writing to Gaius, and we see that Gaius is beloved by John. So I pray it may go well with you, be well with your soul. And we'll talk a little bit about this. This has to do a lot with the itinerant wandering preachers. I mentioned earlier, yesterday, in fact, we talked about this, how in that culture you would have preachers just kind of wander in. They traveled from town to town. And a little bit of church history slash organization. This is how ordination came into being. This is one of the ways we see in Scripture the concept of laying on hands. We talk in Acts about how the church laid hands on Paul and Barnabas and sent them out. So we see this notion of the church laying hands on someone for a specific calling, a specific ministry. But ordination came into play in a lot of ways in that you were ordained by so and so. So these friends that are mentioned here would be these itinerant preachers. Well, if you get a itinerant preacher wandering into town, how do you know that you are to believe what they are teaching? We see that here. These are the friends they're coming to on behalf of the apostles. We see that Diotrephes rather, he doesn't acknowledge their authority, the authority of the apostles, and he says, Not only is he spreading charges against us, he refuses to welcome the friends we have sent. So we see that it's known that these ones that are sent are coming here have been sent by the apostles. So they come forth with apostolic blessing and authority. So that's kind of where ordination came from because you want to know under what authority and under what teaching does this preacher come into place with? And so the preacher could say, the itinerant preacher could say, well, I was ordained by John, I was ordained by whomever. And that's how you know that you can trust the teachings of this new preacher is that you can say, well, golly, I don't really know this person, but they were ordained by so and so. And we know that so and so is orthodox and so and so teaches the truth. And because of that, we know that we can trust what this preacher has to say because they were ordained by this person who we know teaches the truth. So thus we can trust this person. Ordination kind of rose up in that fashion to trust the validity of the individual that is coming to preach. We see here that these friends have been sent by the apostles to teach. Verse 5 says, you faithfully do what you can for them, the friends, even though they are strangers to you. They have testified to your love before the church. You do well to send them in a manner worthy of God. Um, do what you ought to support them. That way you become co-workers with the truth. I think that's an interesting thing. Do what you ought to do that they may become co-workers in the truth. As a pastor, I know that I used to tell my mama this all the time when she was living. I always told her that she had one job in the life of Johnson Chapel, and that was to blindly support whatever the preacher wanted. I said, remember, you got a son who's a preacher, so you need to support the preacher because you want people to support me, right? And and I always joked about that, but you as a layperson, if you're a layperson watching this, without a doubt, you play a part in the role of the ordained clergy in your church, whether you're United Methodist or Wesleyan or Baptist or Catholic or whatever tradition you're from, you have a role to play in their ministry, in your support and encouragement. You become a co-worker in the truth. In your support of the local church, you become a co-worker with the truth. In your prayers, you become a co-worker in the truth. As you seek to encourage, pray for, care for the ministers in your life, the ministers in your church, the ministers in your family, as you do these things and they feel your support, you're becoming a co-worker with these pastors in the ministry because I can tell you one of the most valuable things that I can ever get is the encouragement of my people. I've got a whole drawer over on my other desk full of letters that I've been given here at St. Matthew's and been given in various churches of just support, kindness, encouragement given to me. And that encourages me to go on. It really does. So you have a huge role to play in the ministry of the church. And don't ever doubt that what you do doesn't matter because we see, it says here that the word of Gaius and his support of the church even got to John. They heard about it. And then to contrast that with Demetrius, or Diotrephes, who isn't supporting and is actually undermining the authority of the apostles. So, you know, be an encourager. Be an encourager. We see that Demetrius is doing that as well in this passage. We testify for him. That testimony is true. It says, do what's good. If you do good, you're of God. If you don't, you're not. So today, not just your preacher, but send your preacher a text, an email, a call. Say, hey, just praying for you and encourage you. But not just your preacher, do other people. There's somebody else in your life that's been an encouragement to you. Shoot them a text. We often don't take time in our life to shoot that encouraging text or that encouraging email, do we? So take some time today to do that, to encourage somebody that means something to you. Encourage your clergy. because when you do that, you're becoming a co-laborer with them in the truth. So that's 3rd John, great little book. Tomorrow we're going to pick up. We'll be beginning with Jude, so we'll read a little bit of Jude tomorrow. Hey, thanks for being with us. Have a great day.